Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. It's been a hot minute, a very long time since I filmed on my YouTube channel, but I did my makeup on TikTok live the other day and you guys loved the makeup look that I did, and you guys requested me to do this video very detailed so you guys can rewatch it and see how I did this look. So if you guys want to see how I did this look, just keep watching the video and you can see how I did this glam. So every time I do my glam, I always start with toner, brows, skincare, eye makeup, and then face makeup because I like it in that order. I don't like when products are in my eyebrows, but toner is the only way that I can get rid of any oil residue or anything inside of my brows, and it works for me. And even though I showered, washed my face, all of that good stuff, you can see how dirty it is. I love using the Valentino Brow Trio pen. It has a pen and pencil at the same time, so I use the pen to get like my hair-like strokes, and then I use the pencil side to kind of create my dimension of my brow. I don't like to fill in my brows from the beginning area. I just like to fill in the tail of my brow just because I feel like it makes my eyes look bigger and I don't want to suffocate my eyes with my eyebrows. And another reason why I like to do my brows before anything, or mainly after toner, it's because the product will not slide. So this is so matte and it's not moving around, versus if I had skincare on top of my brows, it would just move around and it would kind of look a little bit wet in a way, and that's not how I like my brows. I like my brows to look pretty dry. Now I'm going to skin prep my face. Skin prep is the most important part of your face base because if you don't have hydrated skin and if your skin is not exfoliated, you will literally see it come through the makeup. So the first thing that I like to go in with is the Rhode toner. This is literally milk in a bottle, and it is my favorite product to put underneath makeup and even just like my regular skincare routine. My skin tends to get really dry. We're going to be going in with the La Mer moisturizer. This stuff is so good, but honestly I don't think I will be repurchasing this because it was so expensive, and I feel like I have other moisturizers that kind of do the same job, but she's feeling a little bit expensive today. I've tried about every lip balm on the market, and I would say the Tatcha lip mask is my favorite one. Why? It leaves your lips hydrated till the next day. I recently just got this new concealer. It's from Anastasia and I am obsessed with it. It is so full coverage, it's so creamy, it blends exactly how I want it to blend. And fun fact, I use a paintbrush to carve out my eyebrows. I feel like it does such a good job. It is probably one of the flattest type of brushes that you can have that you want to cut anything with. Paintbrushes literally do the job. This concealer is pretty thick, so I do use it as my eye base, and it does color correct my eyes. You can kind of see the color difference. And before I set that with any powders, I do like to contour my eyes with a cream contour. This one is from Too Faced, and I love contouring my eyes before I actually set them with powder. And this cream contour is so creamy and blendable. It literally melts in my eyes like butter. And I always set with a translucent. This one is from HUDA Easy Bake Pound Cake, and I make sure to really set that powder in my eye. There's a stigma where it's like you want to use like the tiniest amount of powder, but that is just not going to set your makeup, especially if you're using a lot of creams. Like, you need to fully set your makeup in order for it to not crease. So the eyeshadow palettes we're going to be going in today is Makeup by Mario. His eyeshadow palettes are so good. I love his palettes. They are the perfect neutral and cool tone combination that you could ask for. And usually with my eyeshadows, I tend to use cool tones and warm tone shades, and I think that combination is like the best combination because I don't want to be too orangey, and then I don't want to be like I have no color at all. So I'm going to be going in with this shade right here and this shade. I'm going to be mixing them together to get a perfect transition shade. The same way how I put the cream contour, I'm kind of doing the same thing to contour my eyes because I'm kind of shaping my eyes with the eyeshadow, so I'm just kind of following the diagram that I had prior to setting my eyes. Next shade, I'm going to be using this one and this one. And the last shade I'm going to be using for my transition is going to be a bronzer. This is going to give me some nice warmth just along my transition. I don't want it to be too orangey, but at the same time, I love a warmth look, and I feel like this ties it all together. Alright, fun part is eyeliner. I always keep the shadows to be very neutral and light, and I just go really crazy with my eyeliner because I feel like eyeliner makes my eyes look so nice, and I also think it looks great on everybody. So the first thing I like to do is get a eyeliner that is a pen. I like to map out where I want my wing to be, and then I just lightly build it up with different products, but this is my first base. I always go below my eye area because I do have a slight hood on my eye. Just like that. So I have this bone right here that kind of affects my eyeliner, and if I don't do it correctly, it will look like I'm curving it. So that's why I go below this area instead of like connecting it from this area. Usually a lot of girls like it very lifted, but honestly I need to go what fits my eye shape, and I feel like that's what fits me. After I map out my liner, I just go in with this Emma Mitchell color base. I use, as you can tell, this shade a lot because it's my favorite shade. It's my favorite shade for eyeliner. It's like a gray brown, and it's not black, but it's dark enough to fit as eyeliner. So when I do my eyeliner, I'm very conservative on my placement and how much I'm applying, and I start from this area. I do not like when my eyeliner is not blended. I feel like I'm not into graphic liner, but I feel like this is so seamless and it just looks so wearable for any look that you want to do, and it doesn't look like you're wearing too much makeup. It just really, like, it just makes your eyes look bigger. And I just get a brush and kind of like run it through just so I can get a really nice blend. After we do our blend, I like to get this shade from Makeup by Mario, and I like to just lightly put it on the liner so I have more dimension and I can really buff out that liner and make it super seamless. And then I'm getting the shade right next to it and going above that shade that I just went on. And then same thing, that bronzer, go on top of that liner. I like to clean up the under eyes with a angled brush, and I feel like this way you can get the sharpest line for your eyeliner without having to try too hard. Eyes are partially done, so now I'm gonna go in with my face, and I kind of skin prep again, but I'm gonna be using the Anastasia sunscreen, and this stuff makes your skin literally look so glowy, and you'll see just, hold on, let me show you guys. It is one of my favorite things that I've added to my makeup routine. And I'm gonna be going in with the Yummy Skin from Danessa Myricks, and after this we will start my actual face base. And this is a product I was gatekeeping, but there was no way I was not gonna tell you guys about this technique. I feel like this is the reason why my makeup looks so good, so creamy, and like the foundations sit so well with me. And it's these two products. It's the Chanel concealer and the Giorgio Armani skin tint. These two together underneath foundation are insane. I mix both of them together and I just apply it on my face. The texture to this product is so nice and dewy and moist, and I feel like it's the perfect base for foundation. even though I want full coverage, I still put these two together. For foundation, I'm going to be using the NARS and Giorgio Armani. I depotted these ones. I didn't depot these ones, but I'm going to be using these two foundations together. I always like mixing foundations. I feel like the effect of mixing foundations together give me kind of like some different type of sorcery. And honestly, the NARS foundation, I feel like, and it works so well with any mixed foundation, and it's like butter for your skin. And then I just buff it out very lightly. I always layer. The reason why I like to use these two foundations together is because I feel like the NARS has a good amount of coverage, but it makes the skin look like butter. And the Giorgio Armani, I feel like, is so nice and dewy, and it is great for people who want perfect skin. But the combination of full coverage and then perfect skin, I'm never complain about. And after you layer the products with the brush, I always like to put a beauty blender and press everything into my skin. I feel like doing this technique makes the skin look very airbrushed. The Natasha Denona cream contours I really like. I love that it's in a bottle because I feel like when I squeeze it out, I have a lot more control to how I'm applying the product. But I love this cream contour. My favorite blush is definitely the Giorgio Armani. My blush placement, I like to put on this cheekbone right here. I actually don't like to do it on the actual cheeks. I feel like when I do it in this direction, I feel like I have so much more of a lift to my face. So for my under eyes, I am going to be going with the color corrector from Tarte. I'm going to lightly apply it just to where I have my discoloration. I actually love this color corrector. I feel like it's very thin. It's not too thick because my concealer is pretty thick. After I color correct, I am going to be getting my concealer from Anastasia and applying it right under my eye. So my biggest tip is to mainly look up all the way and use very creamy products. The more you look down, which I'm doing right now, the more you are going to naturally crease. So there needs to be full focus when it comes to your under eyes, and just to really take your time and blend and set your eyes properly. And I'm going to highlight with the Skinfinish. This concealer is so creamy. I love using this concealer by itself, but I do have dark under eyes and I do have to cover them. But I think this combination also helps me get a very creaseless under eye because of how hydrating this concealer is. You want to make sure you set your under eyes really good. I pack on the powder under my eyes, and that is like the only way that I can have really crease proof eyes, and to also get the coverage, because I do need to color correct. Wrinkles is something that like you want to make sure that you're not mixing up the two together. Wrinkles, you need Botox. Creasing, you need to fully set. So that's the difference between the two. So yeah, you can see the biggest difference in my under eyes, and they're fully set. There's no creases, there is no wet lines, nothing is not in place. It is exactly where I want it to be because I took full control over my eyes and continuously looking up and pressing in the powders in my face. You need powders in order to set your face, and it will not move. If your face is wet, it will just slip and slide, and you will see those little white lines in the creasings that we obviously don't want, but that is literally my technique and I swear by that. And after I set it with loose powder, I like to set it with a pressed powder, and I feel like that is like my finishing touch. And it does kind of give an extra highlight to my under eyes, but it does give it a very flawless effect. So after I set my eyes, I just set the rest of my face with a darker powder. The shade under my eye was Pound Cake, and then this shade is Banana Bread from HUDA. And I just make sure I set it really well. For my contouring, I'm going to be using the Charlotte Tilbury face powder in shade number 3 to kind of contour my face. I love face powders as my contouring. I feel like bronzers are a little bit too orangey for my likings. I feel like Charlotte Tilbury powders are really nice in terms of like the application and the skin shades. After I contoured, I now bronze, and I'm using the MAC bronzer, and I just use it on the high points. I don't want it to be too orangey, but I feel like I'm so picky when it comes to my face powders because my biggest pet peeve is when faces look orange. So I feel like this technique makes you just look bronze instead of orange, and you just look kind of chiseled. My favorite part is my blush. I tend to use like 3 different shades of blush because I feel like the more blushes I use and the layering I do, the nicer it looks. So I'm gonna be doing She's LA first, and I'm very minimalistic when it comes to the application. So I literally use the smallest amount, and I really build. I do not like to use too much product. Then it would be so much harder to blend. So I am very light when it comes to my blushes. And then I'm going in with She's Blushing. And I always just keep my blushes around this area. It does make the eye area look super lifted, and it just makes it look so young. And then I'm using She's Flushed right on top of those 3 blushes. And you can see how nice it looks. It is just layered so perfectly. I love using a cream highlight to highlight my face even on top of powder. It gives a nice wet look. So face is pretty much done. We're gonna go back to my eyes and finish those up. I like to make my under eyes pretty smoky. I'm gonna be using the first transition shades that we originally did. Putting eyeshadow underneath your eyes also is a great way to reduce a lot of the creasings. I'm going to use this brown shade. I don't want to go too dark on my under eyes, but I'm only going to take it on the edge area right here. For the inside of my eye, I like to use the Victoria Beckham eyeliner and then the MAC eyeliner. I like to use 2 different eyeliners because I love the chocolate brown effect in the eyes. I feel like it brightens the eyes so much, and I just love chocolate brown in makeup. I feel like it's so bronzy. I don't like too dark of a brown, but this brown combination is my favorite when it comes to the eyeliner. I love this as a base, but it's just so orangey, so that's why I go in with the brown eyeliner from MAC. And I always make a very small inner corner wing, and this ties the entire look together. And I actually avoid doing eyeliner from this area because I feel like it closes off my eye, but like look at how nice my eye looks with just that outer corner liner and the inner corner liner and inside liner, and then when you avoid it from this area. I am most known for my lashes, and I get questions about this all the time of like how I do my lashes. So I will show you guys how I do that. I customize my lashes. It's very rare for me to actually just use a lash and just use it by itself. I customize everything. And lashes I'm going to be using are from House of Lashes. These are Purr. And it is like a wispy, not flare, but it's just a wispy lash, but I build it with individuals, and I feel like that's what gets me to have the most perfect lashes on myself and on others. So this is how the lashes look itself. It looks great, but it could look better because I love how they sit on the center of my eye, but I love a outer lash to be really full, and that's kind of what it's missing. The individuals I'm going to be using are from Dark Swan. So I put 2/14, and I'm going to put a number 10 right next to it because I need it to blend really seamlessly, and I don't want any gappings. Even though like I like the gappings on it, I don't want that many gappings. Just like that. You can see the difference that it made my eye look so much bigger, so much nicer. I love this technique for lashes. My all-time favorite mascara is this one from Sweden. No, not Sweden. It's Swede, my bad, not Sweden. I do want to go to Sweden though. But this is my favorite mascara. I feel like this mascara, you have full control over the mascara, and it's not clumpy, it's not too thick, and you can really brush it literally like as if you're brushing your hair. and you can kind of move them around, and I literally love this mascara. So I like to just use the pen side and just do some hair-like strokes for my brows because a lot of powder gets inside of them and I kind of lose its shaping. I always like to run this pen everywhere. And you can't forget to set my brows. I use the Got To Be glued brow gel. So I line with Anastasia first and then I go in with the Morphe one. It just gives a perfect ombre of like nude pink. I love this lip shade. I'm going to use KKW from Charlotte Tilbury. It is a really light pastel pink, and I'm just gonna put that on the center of my lips because I love that baby doll pink effect. And I'm gonna go in with this pink lip gloss from HUDA. Miss HUDA. So all I have to do is just set my face, and honestly, this is the Huda Beauty setting spray, but I'm sorry HUDA, your packaging is so terrible. I bought 2 setting sprays and they both broke. Like I had to use it in a different bottle because I finished literally all of these, but yeah, we're gonna do HUDA's setting spray. The reason why I don't like to talk and open my eyes when I do my setting spray is because the face is wet and like literally it's so quick and easy to create a wet crease with the powders on top. Even though like you're setting them, you have to wait till your face is fully dry in order to go to the next step of like speaking or doing anything like that. But we're gonna go in with one size setting spray so my makeup lasts all day. I already have glass skin, but this spray is literally crazy. You will see the sorcery. Glam is done, but I'm gonna go do my hair and give you guys a whole show right now, so I will be back right now. So this is the finished look. I hope you guys liked it, and honestly, I love this look so much. It eats up every single time I do it, and this is actually my signature look, so I do this on literally all of my brides and on myself. It's so wearable and it's just such a fun look. But I hope you guys liked it. If you guys did, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and let me know what you guys want to see in my next video. Bye guys!